In the name of Allah, welcome my dear students of grade 11. Today's topic is about television watching habits. During the next minutes, we will study new vocabulary, read a text, and answer some practical exercises. Unit 8, Lesson 1 and 2. Let's start with the opener. Answer this question. What impact does watching television have on the life of teens? It can encourage good behavior. It can give unhealthy or negative messages. Let's move on to study the new vocabulary for today. The first word, age appropriate. Age appropriate. Age appropriate. Try to repeat it after me, please. It's an adjective and meaning suitable for a certain age. Example, age appropriate. TV can encourage good behavior by stimulating the mind. It allows you to think about your own life choices and to develop good habits for the future. Next, tune out. Tune out. Tune out. Meaning to stop paying attention to something, and it's a phrasal verb meaning to stop paying attention to something. Example, TV is sometimes used to tune out or to escape from the real world. Next, miss out on. Miss out on. Miss out on. Not get the chance to do or have something that one would enjoy or that would be good for one. And it's a phrasal verb. Example, this can cause you to miss out on real world experiences. Next, provoke. 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 It's a verb meaning to cause a reaction, especially a negative one. Example, furthermore, TV promotes inactivity which provokes an increased risk of obesity. Next, promote. 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 It's a verb to encourage people to like, buy, use, do, or support something. Next word, inactivity. 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 It's noun meaning idleness, immobility. Next word, channel surf. Channel surf. Channel surf. This word is a verb meaning to change frequently from one television channel to another using a remote control. Example, most people channel surf for many hours and neglect doing any physical exercise. Next word, comedy. 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 It's a noun, a type of film, play, or book that is intentionally funny either in its characters or its action and makes one laugh. Example: teenagers like watching comedy programs which make them laugh. Next, mentally. 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 It's an adverb connected with or related to the mind. Example: TV programs can affect children mentally. On average. On average. On average. This is an expression, means normally or usually. Example: recent data indicates that on average children spend approximately 3 hours a day watching television. Next, staggering. 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 It's an adjective meaning very shocking and astonishing. Example: this figure may seem staggering, statistic, but it's true. Next word, accuracy. 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 This word is a noun meaning the quality or state of being correct. Example: a teacher realized the accuracy of this statistic after a quick survey amongst her students. Teaching aid. Teaching aid. Teaching aid. It's a noun, material or equipment used in teaching. Example: using teaching aids in the classroom helps students understand the lessons very well. Next, primarily. 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 It's an adverb meaning for the most part or mainly. Primarily, audiovisual teaching aids help students practice listening to spoken English. Next, fractional. 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 Relating to the separation of a component of a mixture. Example: the science teacher teaches students the fractional distillation, which is the separation of the mixture into its component parts by doing an experiment. Fractional here is an adjective. Visualize. 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 To imagine. It means to imagine, and visualize is a verb. Telling stories helps listeners visualize the characters and the setting of the story. Core programming. Core programming. Core programming. Meaning the central or most important program. Example: broadcast television stations should schedule their core programming, including educational programs that can be shown both in and outside the classroom. Core programming is a noun. Next, prime time. Prime time. Prime time. The time at which a television or radio audience is expected to be the greatest. Example, the educational programs should be broadcast on TV daily during the prime time. Let's summarize our words for today. Try to repeat them after me. Age appropriate, it's adjective. Channel surf, it's a verb. Comedy, it's a noun. Inactivity, it's a noun. Mentally, adverb. Miss out on, phrasal verb. Promote, verb. Provoke, verb. Tune out, phrasal verb. And accuracy, it's a noun. Core programming, noun. Fractional, adjective. On average, expression. Primarily, noun. Prime time, noun. Staggering, adjective. Teaching aid, noun. And visualize, verb. Now let's move on to start studying. Student book, page 62. What do you do when a TV commercial comes on? Here are the results of a survey conducted in a particular area in 2008. Adults and children. Channel surf, change channel. Adults who channel surf, 41%, and so on. Discuss these questions after studying the fact file given. A. Who in your family decides what you watch on TV? B. Are there any programs you are not allowed to watch? And conduct the same survey with your classmates and compare your results with the information in the fact file. You have 2 minutes. Try to answer these questions with yourself. Now listening. You are going to hear interviews with 3 young people answering questions about their television watching habit. Answer these questions yourself. How many hours of television do you watch a day? What times of the day do you watch television? Who do you normally watch television with? Do you watch videos and DVDs as well as television programs? Who decides what you can watch on television? You have 2 minutes. Try to answer these questions before listening. Now listen and match the speakers with the questions they answer. Listen.
Unit 8, 8.1, page 62, exercise 2B. Speaker 1.
It depends. Usually I choose what I watch, but occasionally my parents want me to watch educational programs. And if it's getting late, They tell me to turn off the TV and go to bed, especially when I have to get up early for school the next day. My parents know what kind of programs I watch, but from time to time they advise me to stop watching a particular program. And of course, they prefer me not to watch rubbish.
Speaker 2.
We've got lots of DVDs, mainly films, but I only watch them when there's nothing worth watching on TV. My parents have lots of old videos. They like watching old television programs over and over again, but I find them quite boring. They like comedy programs, but often I don't think they're funny.
Speaker 3.
That's quite a difficult question to answer, because different days are different. When I'm at school, probably only about 1 or 2 hours a day. But in the school holidays it's more, probably 3 or 4 hours. I'd rather go out with my friends in the holidays though, so those days I don't watch any at all. Sometimes I go for a whole week without watching any programs.
Let's check your answers. Who decides what you can watch on television? Yes, speaker 1. Do you watch videos and DVDs as well as television programs? Speaker 2. How many hours of television do you watch a day? Speaker 3. Question number 3. Listen again and answer these questions. Which speaker? After listening again, let's read your answers. Which speaker doesn't think their parents' videos are very interesting? Speaker number 1, 2, or 3? Yes, speaker number 2. Next, which speaker has to turn the TV off and go to bed if it's late? Speaker number 1. Next, which speaker sometimes has to watch educational programs? Speaker 1. Next, which speaker sometimes watches no TV for a week? Yes, speaker 3. And which speaker watches 3 to 4 hours of TV a day during school holiday? Yes, he is speaker 3. Now page 63. Question number 5. Read the text about TV guidelines for teens. How can the negative effects of TV be avoided? Let's read the text and answer the questions after reading. Day-to-day television watching has a considerable social impact on the life of teens. The average 12 to 17-year-old watches about 23 hours of TV per week. You may know that TV has both good and bad effects. However, it's not always clear how to consume TV in a positive, creative way and how to protect yourself from its negative effects. On the one hand, age-appropriate TV can encourage good behavior by stimulating the mind. It allows you to think about your own life choices and to develop good habits for the future. Thus, TV teaches you how to develop and use your imagination. It also teaches you about family values and pushes you to appreciate the role of your own family more. Moreover, young people can become aware of positive adult roles and imitate them by watching their behavior on TV. On the other hand, TV is not selective in what it teaches. Along with positive effects, it can give unhealthy, false, or negative messages. TV is sometimes used to tune out or to escape from the real world. This can cause you to miss out on real-world experiences. Furthermore, TV promotes inactivity, which provokes an increased risk of obesity. It also causes unhealthy behavior, such as taking risks and eating junk food. Too much viewing leaves you with little time for other activities and experiences. Here are some guidelines to help you decide how to consume television appropriately and to avoid its negative effects. First, make family rules about TV and stick to them. Decide what you want to change about your current viewing habits and set limits on TV viewing time hours per day. Turn the TV off during meal times and while doing your homework. This will allow you to concentrate better and finish your homework earlier. Watch TV with family and friends and discuss issues seen on TV with them. And use books to learn more about topics that interest you on TV. After reading, let's read your answers. First question: how can the negative effects of TV be avoided? It can be avoided by making family rules about TV and sticking to them, deciding what you want to change about your current viewing habits, set limits on TV viewing time hours per day, turn TV off during mealtime and while doing your homework. This will allow you to concentrate more and finish earlier. Watch TV with family and friends and discuss issues seen on TV with them. And use books to learn more about topics on TV that interest you. Question number 6. Think and speak. Discuss these questions in small groups. Do you think you watch too much TV? TV can be educational. Do you agree or disagree and justify your answer? You have 1 minute. Try to discuss these questions. Now, my students, let's move on to start studying and answering some exercises of your workbook. Open your workbook, page 54. And the first question: read this article about educational television programs written by a 17-year-old student and answer the following questions. Question number 1. How many hours do children approximately spend watching television? 2. Why does the teacher make sure the math and science shows do not contain any new lessons? Let's read the article and answer the questions. Recent data indicates that on average children spend approximately 3 hours a day watching television. Although this figure may seem staggering at first, after a quick survey among my fellow classmates, I realized the accuracy of this statistic. In view of this, I believe that broadcast television stations have a responsibility to serve the educational needs of children when scheduling their core programming, including specifically designed programs that can be viewed both in and outside the classroom. On average, we watch television programs 2 or 3 times a week at my school. Television can be a valuable teaching aid, especially when we are studying other cultures or languages. For example, a geography lesson on Sri Lanka can be greatly enhanced by viewing a documentary about the country and its customs. Every week, in one of our French lessons, we watch a program about family who lives in Paris. Primarily, this helps us practice listening to spoken French. However, I also feel it helps me relate to my studies more and improves my concentration. Pre-recorded programs are also commonly used in maths and science lessons. The teachers themselves record them late at night, as educational programs are rarely shown at prime time. The teacher makes sure the maths and science shows do not contain any new lessons and are instead used as a revision tool. This helps us visualize what we have been learning. For example, I found it much easier to understand fractional distillation after I had seen the process on video. I definitely feel that the programs we are shown at school have a greater educational value than most children's programs. Although they are fun, we don't learn much from them. Public broadcasters should be injecting more education into children's entertainment, especially during after-school hours, when the majority of viewers are students. After reading the article, let's check your answers. First question: how many hours do children approximately spend watching television? Yes, children approximately spend 3 hours a day watching television. Next question: why does the teacher make sure the math and science shows do not contain any new lessons? The teacher makes sure the math and science shows do not contain any new lessons to help them visualize what they have been learning. Okay, now page 55. Question number 2. Read the article again and answer the questions. What does the student describe as staggering? Why? Why is television described as a teaching aid? Why do you think educational programs are used as a revision tool in maths and science lessons? From the student's point of view, what's wrong with children's TV programs? And what's the moral message of this text? Try to read the text again and come back to answer the questions. Let's check your answers. A. What does the student describe as staggering and why? The student describes the figure as staggering because it's astonishing. Next, why is a television described as a teaching aid? It's described as a teaching aid because it helps the students to learn more, especially about other cultures or languages. Next, why do you think educational programs are used as a revision tool in maths and science lessons? They are used as a revision tool in maths and science lessons because they help the students visualize what they had been learning. Next question. From the student's point of view, what's wrong with children's TV programs? We don't learn much from them. And What is the moral message of this text? We should make use of television as it can be an educational tool helping us to learn more effectively. And question number 3, refer to the article to answer the following questions. You have 1 minute, try to answer this question. And let's check your answers. A. Which of the following words are not used as an adjective? Yes, the word number 2, television. B. Which of the following words are not used as a verb? Yes, cur is not used as a verb. C. What does the writer mean when he uses the word figure? He means a number that gives statistical information. And what does the writer mean by prime time? He means the time at which television audiences are the largest. And the closure. Answer this question. What are the good and bad effects of watching TV? The good effects: it develops our imagination, it encourages good behavior. Bad effects: it promotes inactivity and it causes unhealthy behavior. Well, now I'm approaching the end of my video. I strongly recommend that you listen attentively and practice well, because that, of course, will help you. Thank you and goodbye.